The Megan Show continues. Carney to Tyrell.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Meg Show, episode 11, week 11, and we are officially heading into postseason play this week. A lot of exciting games coming up across different conferences. Some conferences I think are still finishing up, but a lot of exciting things to look forward to. Playoffs is just the best time of year, and we've definitely talked about that before, but school ends, you get to focus on what you love, with people you love, and it's just fun, and it's really nice out too.
Nothing can beat that.
But, oh yeah, no. But before we look ahead to this week, let's reflect on last week. Last week we had a pretty good pick of games, I thought. As far as how we did on our picks, I mean, what are you going to do? Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I think for us this week, we might have been on the loser board.
Yeah, I think we lost Penn versus Loyola. I think I got that wrong.
Same. Actually, might have broke even here. I don't know. But let's just get into it. So the first game that we're going to look into was Penn versus Loyola. And I thought that this game was very almost out of character for Loyola. It didn't really feel like they were all there in a sense. But then also you got to give credit to Penn, who came out and just kind of dominated. I think based on the score we're looking at here, Penn beat Loyola 13-6, which that's not just like a walk in the park win. That's almost like a statement win, I would say. But a lot of it's credited to their defense that whole game. They had 10 caused turnovers and dominated the ground ball game. That means they're playing gritty, they're playing physical, they're coming after you. And on the offensive side, they had Anna Brandt, who led the way with 4 goals, and then Keely Block, who had 4 points with 2 goals and 2 assists on the day. And to turn back to the defense, their goalie, Kelly Van Hosen, had 9 saves and was a beast in the second half, making some great stops. For Penn, they held Loyola pointless in that third quarter while they put up 4 goals of their own. And like we always talk about, being held scoreless for a quarter isn't the best look, especially kind of now moving into postseason. You want to put up as many points as you can, obviously. But sometimes a team just plays good defense, or maybe you're having a bad shooting day. Loyola, the usual suspects here, we had Georgia Latch, Sydney Black, and Anna Ruby. They had multiple point games of their own, but it just wasn't really enough to break through Penn's defense. And then that one, we saw a little highlight goal by Sydney Black. It was a really nice BTB. So,
dude, that shot was so sick.
No, it really was. So that was fun to see. Unfortunately, couldn't get over this win with Penn, but definitely an exciting matchup. And Penn, that's a really, really good win for them.
Yeah, that goal by Sydney Black was unreal. I know earlier when we were doing this podcast in the season, I asked a question if maybe behind the backs were overrated. A BTB like that is not overrated. That was so sick. That was really cool. Something to note here, Chase Boyle, a little quiet in the Penn game. Only had 1 goal on 4 shots. 3 of them were on goal, one ground ball, but 3 turnovers. She did have 5 draw controls, but in terms of points, she only came out with 1, which it's all right. Other girls were able to put up some points, but not enough. So yeah, I was very shocked to see how badly Penn won, but good for them. That's a good win. Next game we had was UNC versus Duke, an awesome, just in-state rivalry. Duke versus UNC, any sport is just always a fun matchup. You never know who's going to win just because that game has a little bit more meaning on the line. Yeah, very close game. UNC did win 16-11 as they went in for halftime. UNC was only up by 1, so definitely a good first half by Duke to keep that game close. They did. UNC did come out hot with 6 goals in the first quarter. Duke was able to play a bit of catch up in the second quarter to bring the game within 1. But then, on the other hand, coming out of half, UNC then had another 6 goals, which Duke unfortunately could not keep up with. That did seem to be the deciding factor for the game. Duke just couldn't really keep up with them. And UNC just kept their foot on the pedal. So good game for them. Both teams did have multiple players with a point. that we just love to see. That just shows a balanced offense. Who are you going to put your best defender on? Who are you going to mark up on? Who are you going to slide to, and who are you not going to slide to? Just if everyone's a threat, it makes it really hard on the defense and the other team to scout. Duke, Carly Bernstein had 4 goals. Lexi Schmalls had 2, and a bunch of other girls came away with 1. Olivia Carner, Bella Goodwin, Katie Keller, Caroline DeBellis, Eva Pronti also had 1. And then UNC, Caroline Gooddean had 3. She's awesome back there, always putting up numbers. Darcy Felter had 3. Liv Pichelli had 3. Olivia Dirks had 2. Caitlin Worsberg had 2. Melissa Long had 1. Ashley Humphrey had 1. And then Kylie Matis had 1. But yeah, ton of girls putting up points, whether it's 1, 3, 4. It's just great to see that many threats on offense. But another just great game, great matchup. We might see them again in the ACC tournament. We might not, but that game definitely always has a little bit more meaning to it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. The in-state rivalries are always fun. And especially with UNC and Duke, they're on the same road, correct? Just like maybe 20 minutes away, but that's always a fun one to watch. The next one that we're going to talk about is Boston College versus Syracuse. Meg and I had the pleasure of heading up to Boston to watch this game. And although Cuse may have not come out with this win, BC won 11-10 in overtime. It was like a classic Cuse BC matchup up there in Alumni Stadium. It was raining. By the end of the game, it was under the lights. The crowd was very, very into it. They had a really decent sized crowd actually show up. So it's always more fun too when the crowd's really into it. There was kids there that were there for both sides. So
yeah, BC really had the neon going on, so they love that.
Yes. And someone that we wanted to talk about was Savannah Spicer. She have a day, although unfortunately, didn't pull out the win. Savannah had 2 very exciting goals at very crucial moments for Syracuse. And like we were talking about with UNC Duke, we saw a lot of players with different points. And I think that's kind of a common theme in this past week. A lot of different teams had, 7 different people out there that were getting points. For Syracuse, we have Olivia Adamson with 3, Natalie Smith with 2, Sav with 2, Emma Ward with 2, Emma Tyrell with 1. And BC, we had Rachel Clark, Cassidy Weeks with 3 goals, Belle Smith with 2, Emma Lapinto with 1, Molly Driscoll and Kayla Martello had 1 apiece. And Rachel Clark has been playing very, very well for BC. I think she really hit her transfer in stride. I think her and Emma Pinto have as well, obviously. But for this game, at least, Rachel Clark was definitely a dominating force out there. And it was really back and forth the entire game. It didn't really feel like one was pulling away from the other. And, overtime games, they're fun, they're intense, they're stressful from the sideline. And at the end of the day, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. And for Cuse, it wasn't their day, but for BC, I thought that was a big win for them. That was really important as they head into the postseason. And someone who I think has kind of flown under the radar in her career, but has also gotten the recognition is Cassidy Weeks. She is goated when it comes to close games and overtime. She is someone who is hustling. She's making hustle plays. She's getting ground balls, back checks, caused turnovers. She's the one with the ball at the end. So for her, wasn't a surprise that she got that ball as she was cutting down the 8 to take that shot for the win. And based on our experiences with Boston College, if history says anything, BC is dangerous in the postseason. So definitely looking forward to see what they do as they head into ACCs.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Never like to see Syracuse lose, but especially to BC in a close game like that. But yeah, it was a great time being there. It was so fun being in the stands with everyone, being able to support all of our friends and former teammates. So just loved being there in general, but unfortunately we could not come out with the win, but I'm sure we'll see them again, whether it's ACC or the NCAA tournament. The next one we had was Penn State versus Hopkins. This game was big on our radar, something we were really looking forward to. Penn State did come out with the win 16-13, which is just a great win for them. Hopkins,
Penn State, man.
Yeah, Penn State, they're sneaky.
They are sneaky.
They're making a run right now at the right time of the season. So curious to see how they're going to do, as well as the Big Ten tournament. I'm so excited to watch that. I think it's going to be just great games all across the board. That is anyone's game in that conference. I wouldn't say, yeah, you can say Northwestern's a clear number one, but I mean, Penn State beat them before, so they know how to do it and they know what it takes. But yeah, the Big Ten tournament, I'm really looking forward to. I think that's going to be awesome to watch. Just once again, like Meg said, we had multiple players with multiple points, with a point. So great day in the office for both teams. Hopkins had 9 different goal scorers. Ashley Mackin led the way with 3. Penn State had 7 different goal scorers. Kayla Abernathy led the way with 3. Lauren Saltz had 3. Gretchen Gilmore had 3. So 3 girls on Penn State putting up hat tricks. Huge day for Penn State. That probably felt great, especially heading into a conference tournament. Penn State did lead the way going into the half with also had a 6-goal third quarter. That helped just solidify their win. They did have 16 turnovers though. But to counteract that, they had a very dominant day on the draw, winning 20-12. So 2 big quarters back to back for Penn State, 5 and 6 goals apiece. Hopkins just could not keep up. They just couldn't find a way to get it done in the second half, and Penn State came out with the win.
Yeah. I was really excited about this matchup. I'm pretty sure I picked right actually for this. So
Yeah, I think you did.
That's a win here. One thing though, Penn State, Kristen O'Neill has been a dominant, very heavily focused on piece of their offense. So for her to only have 1 point on the day, that was a little surprising. But, as we head into postseason, the end of the season, a lot of teams, they watch the film, they scout, they know who to watch out for. They know who they're going to face guard or kind of extend on a little bit to get them less touches. And I think that's kind of what we saw here, which in that case, it lets other people step up as well. As we see, 3 other girls had a hat trick. So you came out with a win. That's all you can really ask for. Another game that was so intense, in a way that it almost wasn't intense, was Michigan versus Northwestern. Northwestern wins this game 13-12. It started off, I would say, relatively slow for Northwestern. They only had 4 goals in the first half, where Michigan had 6. So that's a 10-goal half between the teams. But Michigan goes in at half, and like we said last week with another team, Northwestern goes in at half, unsure what was said in the locker room, but it must have been something incredibly motivating, or maybe just a wake-up call. Northwestern put up 7 goals in the third quarter compared to Michigan's 2. And then Michigan was kind of able to bounce back a little bit at the end with 4 goals in the fourth, and Northwestern only having 2. But that 7-goal quarter was huge for Northwestern, definitely a difference maker. And just like the other teams, we had multiple players with a point or multiple points. For Northwestern, we had Erin Kuykendall, Madison Taylor, Izzy Skane with 3 and 4 goals each. Erin led the way with 4. The other 2 had 3. And this trio is
they're good. They're scary.
Arguably the best.
I mean, what was the last big 3? Like Dempsey,
You know what?
Sam,
Dempsey,
Kenzie Kent.
Salmon. Yes, I think that this would be the next version of the Dempsey Arsenal, Kenzie Kent, and Sam Apuzzo trio. I think this is the next and upcoming one of them. They are dangerous, and obviously their points you can see it for itself. Their presence on the field, they are very dominating, and they really pulled Michigan. They had 10 points combined, so 10 out of 13 points they really pulled for them. And then with Michigan, we had Jill Smith, who we talked about a lot. She had a hat trick. Kaylee Dyer, Julia Schwab, Annabelle Burke, and others that had 1 to 2 goals apiece. That third quarter for Northwestern kind of just pulled away here. But the game was pretty much even on all 4 fronts. Northwestern did lead in draw controls. And both teams went on multiple goal runs. So it was very back and forth. And then in the end, we had Madison Taylor feeding over to Amonte, who put them up, player up in the final 3 minutes. And that was the game. That was it.
That's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote.
I would have loved to see Michigan win, obviously, but 2, I would have wanted them to win to see what their rankings would have been. That would have sent the committee, I don't even know. What were they going to do? How do you rank that? You put Michigan at 1?
No, I think Notre Dame would just go back to 1.
Yeah, and Michigan at like 2 or something, 3.
Yeah, they'd be top 3 definitely.
Wow. Anyways, next game we had was USC versus Colorado. USC won very easily, 15-6. Pretty, I don't know. First quarter, Colorado probably thought they had it. Colorado had 2, USC had 3. Second quarter, Colorado had 2, USC had 4. Start to pull away. And then second half, Colorado only had 1 goal in each quarter while USC was putting up 4 each quarter. So they went into halftime, redid whatever they were doing on defense, or figured out what USC redid whatever they were doing on defense and held Colorado to 1 goal a quarter, or they figured out what Colorado was doing on defense and USC just capitalized on that on offense. So either way, USC handled Colorado very well and had no issues with them. Once again, though, I mean, USC at least had multiple different goal scorers once again. They had 10 different goal scorers, so that definitely is going to help on offense against Colorado's defense. They don't really know who to mark up, and that showed in the stats. So USC had 10 different goal scorers. Colorado had 4. So being able to have those multiple different players put points on the board definitely helps in terms of offense, success, and just making it harder for the other team. However, Colorado did win the draw control battle. So interesting enough. That's a lot of possessions that they're getting, but it just wasn't enough and they couldn't capitalize. But yeah, USC from the first half gained the lead and they just did not slow down with 8 goals in the second half compared to Colorado's 2. So that'll definitely win the game.
Yeah, definitely ran away with it. And kind of like I was talking about with Kristen O'Neill on Penn State, Alahini, huge part of USC's offense, only had a point on the day. But like I said, this is what's expected. You know, the best players are going to get the most attention and, you know, to still put up a point and still have your teammates, a ton of your teammates also put up points. That's exactly what you need as a team heading into playoffs.
With that being said, we'll go over the games we want to watch this weekend that we're looking forward to. But then after that, we will talk about conference play, go over the exciting ones, what each conference is projected to sort of look like in their championship game. And yeah, but the conference tournament this season is going to be very exciting all across the board. I mean, Pac-12, Big Ten, ACC, Ivies, like they're all going to be very exciting. So games to watch, we got Wednesday, a nice little early start to the week. Great ACC matchup. We have UNC versus Virginia. That can easily go either way. Would be crazy to see UNC lose this early in the ACC tournament. But Virginia very well can do that. So I'm very excited to watch that. Everyone tune in on Wednesday. Then Thursday we got Stony Brook versus Stanford. Very random. Great matchup nonetheless, but very random. Out of conference. Curious, I didn't check to see where the game is, who's traveling where right
It's at
before.
Stony Brook.
Stanford's head over to the East Coast, play one more out of conference game, and then get ready for conference tournament. So very interesting, but that is a great matchup and is kind of cool to see because they are in such opposite conferences, obviously, but Stony Brook has played different teams. Like they beat Syracuse. It doesn't really mean much anymore at this point. But Stanford has also played other teams that Stony Brook hasn't and has beaten other teams or lost a significant team. So curious to see who will pull away with that win. Again, on Thursday, we have Colgate versus Army. Great matchup. I think Army should win that. I don't know that.
I think so as well, but I think it'll be a good matchup.
Friday, we have Colorado, Oregon. And then Saturday, we've got a full slate of Hofstra versus Drexel, Georgetown versus UConn, Harvard versus Princeton, Richmond versus UMass, Michigan versus Hopkins. And some of those do include conference tournament games. So interesting.
Yeah, so definitely a lot to look out for. I'm definitely interested in the Stony Brook Stanford game.
Yeah, me too. I'd say that's one. That one and UNC Virginia I'm most interested in. And then Michigan Hopkins, but
yeah, UNC Virginia could really go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia's playing really well right now. UNC also, Jenny Levy just seems to pull stuff out.
She knows
playoff
postseason,
time.
yeah.
She knows postseason very well. So we will see how that one turns out. Looking at conference play, so for the ACC, it already started by the time we listen to this, but actually you'll be ready for quarterfinals. However, the first round was played by Louisville, Virginia Tech, and then Pitt and Clemson. Louisville came out with that win.
Yeah.
And then Clemson came out with that win for that game. Both of them are relatively good games. Kind of what you would expect for teams kind of battling it out. Like they're basically fighting for their seasons now, right? So you're going to send everything into it. And then moving forward on Wednesday, so today, if you're listening to it on Wednesday, Syracuse will be playing Louisville. We got UNC Virginia. Notre Dame will be playing Clemson, and BC will be playing Duke.
Dude, honestly, Notre Dame versus Clemson could be a game to watch, a top game. Clemson almost beat them in regular season.
You're not wrong there.
I do think
the ACC is just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like watch all of them. But
I do think Notre Dame can scout them and come back with a better game plan and handle them. But that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, but Clemson also did just have an overtime win against Pitt like a week ago. So it just depends who shows up. It could legit be anybody. So, and based on the trajectory of this season, it literally could be anybody.
Mhm.
So, and then moving forward, Syracuse, after that, it gets a little bit lengthy to talk about. But after that, the games all shrink down to the end, where on Sunday, April 28th, you get the championship game at noon.
If you had to pick right now, who do you think is going to be in the championship for ACC tournament?
Syracuse, BC.
Okay. I'll go Syracuse, Notre Dame just to be different.
No, that's fair. That was going to be my second guess,
Okay.
but you asked for one. So make sure you guys tune in there. That'll be a really exciting couple days of games to tune into that you can watch. I think it's ACC Network and then ESPN maybe, but
next we got the Big Ten. So to start that off, we've got Michigan Hopkins playing, like we had mentioned earlier. Then we've got Penn State, Ohio State, and we have Maryland Rutgers. Those are all the first round games on the 27th. And then from there, like we mentioned, it does get a little lengthy. Northwestern will play the winner of Michigan Hopkins. I think Michigan will win. So interesting to see another early matchup of Northwestern Michigan. I would have put them on other sides of the bracket, but I guess Penn State is at 2. Interesting. And then, Northwestern will play the winner of Michigan Hopkins. Down on the other side of the bracket, you got Penn State, Ohio State. So I'd take Penn State. Then you got Maryland versus Rutgers. I'll take Maryland. So then you got Maryland, Penn State playing in the quarterfinals or quarterfinal.
Yeah, I think the Big Ten, no team really has an easy route here, which sometimes things play out where if you get a higher seed, your road's a little bit easier. But I mean, this season, there's just no way. So that'll be something to look out for as well. And for the CAA, we're all looking at the same kind of timeline here. I don't really know who their 4 seed would be, but they'll be available on Lacrosse TV. So make sure you tune in there over the next week.
Yeah. Trying to think. Yeah. Those will also be going on, so tune into those games. It's nice it's on Lacrosse TV. I think that's free. Then we also have the Ivy League tournament going on. Those will start a little bit later. Semifinal game will be May 3rd. Friday, May 3rd, championship on Sunday, May 5th. We got 2 versus 3, and then you got Yale versus whoever the number 4 seed is going to be. And then lastly, we've got Pac-12 also going on May 1st through 4th. You got 4 versus 5, 3 versus 6, then winner versus number 1, winner versus number 2. champion game on Saturday, May 4th. It's my birthday.
Say happy birthday to my friend Meg, please.
Can't wait to watch the Pac-12 tournament on my B-Day. Interesting, though, because we will have another podcast before then. So don't worry, we'll remind you guys next week.
Yeah, don't stress that
Literally,
you're going to forget
do not
because
fret.
you have us.
Otherwise, you'd probably forget, obviously.
Duh.
All right, best time of the week. It's Monday. We're recording
Rankings.
this, and the rankings came out today.
Yeah,
Looks right. I'd say it's pretty good. It's annoying BC is above Syracuse, but that's because they beat them. But other than that, it looks pretty good.
yeah.
Crazy to keep Loyola at 9, Penn at 11 after they just handled them.
Yeah, that one's close. I like where Virginia is. I like where Michigan is.
Hopkins is dropping. Penn State is low.
I think I need to think more about Yale. I don't think I'm taking them into consideration enough. 12-1. And I'm pretty sure their RPI is pretty good.
Yeah, that's my next
Like
question.
up in the top 5. So that can definitely have something to do with it. But 12-1 so far heading into postseason, that's fantastic. Penn State, I think, should be higher.
Yeah, I agree. They've
got sitting at 16 right now. I think they should be a little higher. And Fairfield still at 22, doing very well in their season as well. They'll probably win the MAC, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Do they
I feel like they've
usually?
won it.
Yeah.
I feel like they've won it like consistently for a couple seasons now.
I feel like we should know that.
Well, we played them.
Yeah, we did. And not only did we just play them, we almost lost to them.
That is so true. That is so true.
That was crazy. It was so hot. Do you remember that?
Nope, it was raining and cold. You're thinking about Princeton.
Oh, yeah, Prince. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. That game, Princeton was warm. It was cold for Fairfield.
Yeah, my memory is a little shot. All right, let's talk about the Tewaaraton Top 25. What are your thoughts?
I liked the list. I think people who I thought were going to be on it were on it. I think honestly, like when I was looking at it, more of the surprise came from the men's side.
Yeah. Should we just turn this into a men's lacrosse podcast?
Which we don't talk about. But for the women, you know, who I like on there is Chase Boyle. She's had a fantastic season. I think she absolutely deserves to be on there. We got Katie Goodale on there too.
Yeah.
She is the scariest defender I've ever played against in my life.
Got your sister on there.
Emma's on there. Pumped for her. Our girl Cassidy Spillis from Rutgers is on there, having a fantastic season. So yeah, I mean, this list looks good to me. I think narrowing it down to the top 25, to the top 5
is gonna be, yeah,
it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard. And then obviously as teams kind of like weed out, it becomes a little bit more apparent. But no, this is a solid list, and congratulations to everyone on it. It is such an honor, so huge. And you're making an impact on the sport. Oh, I like that Madison Taylor's on there too. She's the youngest one on there.
I am so curious if the 3 Northwestern girls are going to be in the top 5.
I don't know.
And then you only got room for 2 more. That's crazy.
Interesting. That'd be like cool for Northwestern, but I'd be interested to see if they actually did that.
Yeah. Dang. T.
Literally. But yeah, I think it's a solid list. Congratulations. Who do you think's gonna? Well, I know we talked about this last week, but
there's only one from North Carolina. Emily Knowles.
Yep.
Um,
Erin O'Grady, Michigan goalie. Love that on there.
Yeah.
She's having a great season.
Jill Smith doing awesome as well.
Mhm.
Morgan Schwab's not on there, which
Nope, she's right there.
oh, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, there she is. Who else? I mean, it looks pretty good to me. I would be able to I don't know. I don't know. Top 5 is gonna be so hard.
Yeah, poor Tewaaraton committee. You guys have your work cut out for you.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, kind of like the
The
ranking committee. It's been a tough season. Tough season.
Tough, but such a quick season. It feels like it's flown by. Like
I
faster
know.
than when we were playing.
I know. Time's literally flying.
Yeah.
And also, I think April flew too.
I
We're
agree.
we're almost done with it.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, we're in week 11. Holy smokes. I'm really, really looking forward to this postseason. I think there's a lot of good lacrosse left to be played. Lots of good matchups left. Definitely going to be.
It's giving March Madness vibes.
It is.
Anyone can win at this point.
And
Obviously,
I love
but
that.
in the past, you sort of know who are going to be the Final Four. You sort of know who are winning the conference tournaments, but no. This year, it's anyone's game.
I feel the same exact way, which is why it'll be so exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch. Clearing my calendar now.
Yeah, so hopefully we figure out something to do for the NCAA tournament.
You know what I was thinking about earlier when you were talking? How fun it would be. I doubt this would happen, but if we were to go to the NCAA, the Final Four, something we keep commenting on is wanting to know what these coaches are saying pregame or at halftime for these teams making big comebacks. How fun would that be if we went to the Final Four? We could do a live podcast, maybe be on the sideline. We could maybe get some locker room access, hear what these coaches are saying, what the players are saying, and report back to our followers.
I love that idea. I do. I think the live podcast is a really good idea. I like sideline access. Locker room access might be kind of tough though because it's a very focused environment. It's because you hit the Final Four and it's very.
Imagine Syracuse in
And
the
we're
Final
just
Four. Hey guys, what's up?
We're just in the
so
corner of the locker room. No, exactly. It'd be so distracting to be in the locker room, but I think it'd be cool to get there and
I feel like that's
do a
kind of
podcast there.
confidential information. Some of the things that are said in the locker room don't really need to be public knowledge.
Can't have the game plan being leaked. There's no way. But yeah, that would be cool to get down there and do something like that. So hopefully we can figure that out somehow as well.
Yeah. Let us know if anyone wants to fly us down there. Gate, maybe? Hello. All right, let's get to questions from you guys. One of them, first one, why does a stick need to be checked after every goal in women's lacrosse but not in men's lacrosse?
That is a great question.
Yeah, great question.
And the reason for that is because in women's lacrosse, your pocket, the ball, so it'd be really convenient if I had a lacrosse stick right behind me.
I don't. Mine's in my car.
Okay. Basically, you putting up some shots today? Wall ball?
Maybe I was. I gotta get ready. I don't know what I'm getting ready for, actually, so.
Gotta get ready.
Gotta stay ready.
You never know. Pickup can happen at any time.
Literally.
So basically, your pocket, when the ball is sitting in the pocket, the sides of your stick, the plastic pieces here, the ball cannot sit below the plastic piece because that means your stick is deemed illegal. The pocket's too deep. So they have to check your stick because if you have a deeper pocket, you have an advantage over those who don't have as deep of a pocket. Am I wording this in an easy?
Yeah, it can only be so deep. I don't know why, but that's just how the girls' game is played, that we can only have. I think it has to do with the safety as well. But yeah, our pocket can only be so deep, and that would be, you have to see the ball. It can be like the tiniest little sliver, but you gotta be able to see the ball over the top sidebar.
Yes. And so they check it after every goal because sometimes, or in the past, not saying that I ever did this, but when the refs would just check your stick at the beginning of the game, and then after that, you could just like loosen your strings and have a deep pocket. That makes it easier to handle the ball. Your shot comes out harder. And so I guess maybe that was the reason they picked up on it. They're like, hey, maybe we can fix this. They decided to do it after every goal. And now players are held more accountable, following the rules, and the game's a little bit safer.
Yeah. In men's lacrosse, they do check it. It's just not after every goal. So like going into a timeout, TV timeout, end of a quarter, any sort of like stoppage of play after a goal, a ref, or not after a goal, a ref usually grabs one or two sticks of a player.
Yeah.
As they're running into the huddle or locker room, whatever it is. They'll grab one and check it too.
And for them, they can't have the ball be below. So like their stick has like the two pieces of plastic, so it can't be below the second one.
Mm-hmm. The sidewall. That's where I'm thinking of.
Sidewall. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really difficult to figure out that word. But yeah, so it can't be below that second one. I can't even imagine trying to throw at that though. But maybe just because ours is so much flatter.
Use a tennis racket.
Fair. But still, that seems like you remember those butterfly catchers from when you were younger?
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
I also started playing boys lacrosse, so you'd be fine. It's not that hard. You just gotta adjust.
But with an illegal pocket?
Yeah.
You playing with an illegal pocket?
I mean, mine's as close as it can be.
But not.
Compared to yours.
Well.
Who is the most famous person you've met, Meg? I'd have to ask my mom. I don't know.
This is maybe Adam Sandler. I saw him out in the Hamptons. But as far as I don't know anybody famous personally, but I did see him.
I've definitely have met some people when I was a kid.
You definitely have. Wait, oh my god, what was your job for that one basketball game? I can't remember what it was.
I was the Final Four ball girl. Ball boy.
Yeah, so you definitely met some famous people.
Yeah. I definitely have. I've met Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in the suite. Trying to think. I don't know. My mom's gonna be so disappointed in me. She's gonna text me after she listens to this and be like, "You met this person." Charlotte. I don't know.
I guess knowledge-wise, Charlotte.
Yeah.
North is probably the most famous person I know. Or I guess Gary Gate.
Yeah, Gary.
Kayla. Yeah. So yeah, we know a couple of niche celebrities. That's funny actually. But Meg, if you get more texts from your mom about this next podcast, we can also talk about it.
Oh, so true. That's a good one. Well,
but yes,
that's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote. That is
quick one
a
today.
Wrap. Yeah, in and out, nothing painful here.
Looking forward to a big week.
Yes, hope everyone's excited. Turn on your reminders or notifications on Twitter or Instagram to make sure you're following your favorite teams. Follow us.
Subscribe. Ask some questions.
Subscribe, all that stuff. You can look at us on TikTok too. We post a couple reels there as well that are more fun in case you can't watch the whole thing, but would love for you to watch the whole episode. And yeah, make sure to ask us questions as well in our little questions link. We love getting them from you guys, and they're always very interesting. And we'll keep answering them throughout the rest of the season. So thank you guys for tuning in to the episode 11, week 11 podcast. And we will see you guys back here next week.
See you guys.